So now we're looking at the Seven of Cups, which symbolises choices, dreams and illusions, and this card warns of the dangers of wishful thinking and the need for discernment. So let's get into the symbolism on the Seven of Cups. So this card typically depicts 7 cups floating in a cloud, each containing different objects or symbols, as you can see. So the 7 cups represent various choices and opportunities, as well as illusions and fantasies. Each cup's content symbolises different potential outcomes, desires or fears. The cloud that they're floating in suggests a dreamlike or fantasy style atmosphere. So it symbolises the uncertain nature of the choices presented. They indicate that not all options are grounded in reality, and some may be mere illusions or fantasies. So the contents now inside the cups. So as you can see, each cup contains a different object or symbol, such as a castle, a snake, a laurel wreath, a dragon, a human head, jewels and a shrouded figure. So starting with the castle, this represents grand dreams and ambition. The snake, which is here, symbolises hidden dangers or deception. The laurel wreath symbolises victory and success. The dragon symbolises power and fear. The human head suggests a self-identity and personal choices, and the shrouded figure represents, it indicates mystery, the unknown or spiritual insight. And then finally the jewels symbolise wealth and material desires. So this figure here that stands in front of the cups, he's meant to demonstrate a figure that's looking at the cups in wonder and confusion. And this figure actually represents the person that's being read for. They are now faced with multiple choices and they must navigate the challenge of deciding which path to take. So his posture indicates contemplation and the difficulty of making clear decisions. So now we're looking at the Seven of Cups and why it might show up in a reading. So this card will talk about different choices, and it can show how different choices can come in the form of illusions, they can come in the form of fears, dreams, multiple choices or multiple opportunities, but it's talking very much about the need for discernment and the need for clear thinking. So it's showing us how there may be multiple options available to us, but we need to use discernment in order to make the right decision. It talks also about, because it talks about illusions and it talks about multiple options of choice, it's also speaking about making sure that not only are we making the right decision, but that our choice or our decision is made in reality. So it can warn of unrealistic ambitions or choices. So in a reading, it can show up to show the client or the person being read for that at the moment they're in a time where there are multiple options available to them, but where wisdom is needed to make sure that they choose, wisely. So examples of this could be multiple career opportunities. It could be more than one love interest. So there might be you might be lucky enough to have a few people that are quite admiring you at the moment, and it's about looking at things properly and making sure that you make the right decision, the person that is right for you. Maybe not going off maybe say looks alone, because that can be illusionary. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily the right person, but each choice will have a different potential outcome or even challenge to it. Another way it could come up is that it could be coming up to show, bring you to kind of try and bring you back down to earth a little bit. So it could be where a client is, they've got unrealistic plans or ambitions maybe, and it could come up to show that the person may need grounding back into reality. It can also come up to indicate a state of indecision and confusion, where the amount of choices available is making it too difficult to clearly decide what is the best path to take. So in a reading, it may come up to show that a person has a choice to make, but they're finding it difficult because they are confused, or the confusion comes from the feeling of overwhelm of the amount of different options that are available to them. It may come up as well to talk about a person who is now being encouraged to explore various different new hobbies or interests. It may be about talking about a person trying to find themselves, to see what it is that resonates with them, what makes them happy or brings them joy, and what doesn't. So it's like it can be like an exploring card, an exploring of oneself and their own mind, to find out exactly what it is that they want, what it is that they enjoy. So it could be on to do with a person that's on a bit of a mission in that kind of area. So overall, the Seven of Cups does highlight the vast potential and possibilities available to you. It suggests that with careful consideration, you can find opportunities for growth and fulfillment in your world, in your reality. So this card can also come up to talk about escapism and fantasy. So it may just be showing that the person being read for is somebody that is inclined to fantasize a lot, they daydream a lot, maybe they are very much always seeking escapism, and so it can kind of show that rather than creating the reality they want or need, they just spend too much time fantasizing about it, which then can also mean that this person clearly needs a lot more grounding in their life. They need more grounding energy, so there could be a clear need for grounding for that client. So with there being like an abundance of choices as well, it could show like a lack of wanting to commit to one choice. And the message here is more about the fear of missing out. Because if you commit to one choice, what are you missing out of? What are you missing out on with the other choices? So for that reason, this card can and does come up to show a person who might often struggle with that feeling of the fear of missing out. Overall, this card does talk about the many options available to us, and how although there may be lots and lots of options, not every single option is going to necessarily be for our best. It's not going to serve us well. Some of the options are going to be great, and some of them aren't going to be good for us at all, and maybe quite negative. And so the main message here is about being able to make the right choices by being able to think for oneself, using your discernment and just thinking wisely, not fantasizing, not making choices from negative places or from places of need or desperation, that kind of thing, or fantasy.